If there's one thing I can't seem to understand, it's the real serious cognitive dissonance behind people who support Donald Trump. Now, I understood going into the election why people would do that. They saw the middle class tremendously shrink, and Trump blamed NAFTA as if somehow it was NAFTA that did it and not the capitalist class, or just the general functioning of capital. He rattled off a ton of racist shit. I mean, he's literally trying to ban Muslims coming to the country. He's trying to build a wall to prevent Mexicans from coming into the country, at least illegally. But I think we know that he's really trying to ban Mexicans in general. And that was what he ran on. He ran on these very specific things that seemed very anti-establishment, and now he's gone completely against all of them. Just completely gone back on everything he has said. He has gone back on NAFTA. Now he's entering into new agreements. He is going against getting rid of NATO. And NATO was one of those things that he said he wanted to pull out of. It's a terrible deal, blah, 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 blah. Isn't doing it. In fact, is putting more money into it. The wall for the Mexicans, it's not coming. It's not going to happen. I really sincerely doubt that it's going to happen. Trump has gone back on everything he has said that he is going to do. And right before his 100-day mark, he shoved in a whole bunch of things really fast through executive orders, get them done so that he could say, oh, look at the things that we did in the first 100 days, when really he should have said the last 5 days. But no matter how much he goes back on everything he says, Trump's supporters will still cheer the guy on as if he's fucking Jesus. And there is nothing you can do to convince them otherwise. Like, they'll actually make ridiculous excuses for waiting. Well, he didn't get rid of NATO because the globalists made him. I mean, it's ridiculous. He was such a false prophet. It's unbelievable. He is to the alt-right what Obama was to liberals and a section of the left. All of that hope and change, and then you don't get it. Just completely 180 on all that. Goes back on which is about everything he said except for the healthcare. He stood by that and just gave a really bad deal rather than the deal that people actually wanted. Didn't close Guantanamo Bay. Didn't prosecute war criminals. Didn't do a lot of things that he said that when he was running for president. Donald Trump is their great hope that's fallen, just as Obama was the great hope of liberals and some leftists. And they're living in absolute denial. Absolute. The same absolute denial that a lot of liberals looked at Obama after the end of his first term. Just completely denied that he went back on the things that he said. And then blamed the Republicans for doing so. And granted, in some cases, it probably was. But in many of those cases, Obama knew that wasn't going to get put through. It just wasn't going to happen. But it's amazing how you can they absolute cognitive dissonance and just believe that Trump even did the things that he said he was going to do. Face it, when you voted for Donald Trump, you voted for your fucking white American identity. And that's all it is. I mean, even if you say it was about the jobs, I say you're full of shit. This was all about white America lashing back at SJWs, political correctness, affirmative action, etc. And that's what it was. And a lot of people couldn't understand how this would happen. How could somebody so horrible win president of the United States? How could the country that they continually denounce as racist, homophobic, sexist, vote in someone who's racist, homophobic, and sexist? It actually makes perfect sense to me. If that's what the country is, and I would agree that it is, that's how he got elected. But even then, they don't want to believe that. It must have been a plot by the Russian hackers. There is just so much denial all the way around this whole election. And nobody wants to believe it. Nobody wants to believe that America actually elected that piece of crap, even though he's the same piece of crap as the people who voted for him. And Rachel Maddow is still going on about Trump and Russia conspiracy to the point of where, okay, Maddow, you're starting to become Jones here. I'm going to have to start calling you Alex Maddow. How much more proof does there need to be that bourgeois politics, bourgeois parliamentarism doesn't work? Even when the far right gets the person they want in, it still doesn't work. And that's the truth about everything that we have been fed since the beginning of all of this. And still they don't want to accept it. It's really about time that the political community of the United States, that community of regular everyday people, not the entrenched establishment of talking heads, politicians, etc., but the regular people realize the system is a lie. It doesn't do what you want it to do because it's not what you think it is. And it's time to start thinking more along class lines about everything that has been going on, rather than simply reducing it to either your SJW identity or your Trump pansy white nationalist identity. In my personal opinion, as a third worldist, it's not going to happen. These people are going to continually resort right back to their own identity, and not in their own collective class interest. I mean, they'll cheer on the wars all you want for their collective class interest as beneficiaries of imperialism, but to go against the ones that do have a negative effect on them, they won't do it. There seems to be something very unique about the American people that makes it seemingly impossible for them to just get it, to just understand how their own system works. And I say this as somebody standing outside of it, looking in. It's just absolutely incredible the way that this works. And I really worry about the future of the United States. And the only reason I worry about it is because I worry about what it's going to do to the rest of the world. I mean, if the United States wants to collapse itself, do it. Destroy yourselves. I'm cool with that. I'm afraid of what they're going to do to other people. I'm afraid of what they're going to do to other countries, particularly the third world, as crisis tends to deepen. But seriously, the people of America really need to use the tired old cliche, wake up. But that would be a really good idea. Perhaps wake up from the American dream. A dream that's not real and not possible anymore. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.